We are here at CrossReach Morlich House for a very special event, the inaugural CrossReach Grey Cake Bake, inspired by Emma Thomas, the founder of the Pressed Cake Shop. Morlich House is itself very special. It has the first of its kind recreation of the fabulous 50s, complete with its very own sweet shop. Sherbet Dib Dab, anyone? Or how about a quarter of rhubarb and custard? Talking of custard, let's head across and meet the two contestants for this inaugural CrossReach Grey Cake Bake. For this technical challenge, Derek and Andrew will each make a Victoria sponge cake. Our judges will be looking for a perfect bake with no soggy bottoms, a light and moist sponge with vibrant colours concealed by uniform, dull, grey fondant icing. The finished cake must symbolise the unique talents, interests and aspirations which everyone possesses, even when hidden by the grey fog of anxiety or depression.
Just like the Oscars, have you got the right one? You know, I think you've won Best Actress. Congratulations. Spongy, colori. You know, I don't know. You know, speaky baking.
Okay, gentlemen, you've got your instructions. We're ready to go. 3, 2, 1. Bake the grey cake.
Yeah. Make your speech as short as that at the General Assembly, and you'll be fine.
I'll do that very thing.
With the baking underway, it's now time to meet our judges.
He does appear to know what he's doing. Certainly seems to have a plan. He seems to have a plan.
Confidence. It's like Scottish country dancing. If you do it slowly and with dignity, you know, or
People think you know what you're doing.
chairing the General Assembly, it's the same principle.
See when they come out which one looks better.
Ah, good plan.
You get professional coaching over there.
Perfect.
Are you happy with the way your sponges came out?
Yeah, they look alright. One's a bit of a dome, but...
So what happened with the sponges?
When you were talking to me, you put me off from putting the
Oh,
baking
of course we
powder
did.
in. You
Yeah.
see?
Yes, it was deliberate, wasn't it?
Absolutely,
Yes, we thought
yeah.
it
What the
It did, yeah, that was good, eh? Derek, how did it feel to have to cover your lovely colourful cake with this drab grey colour?
Well, apart from the size that the cake is quite small, it was a good thing to be doing here. But actually, it says to me an awful lot about how often we deal with people, and very often all we see is just the grey colour on the outside, and we very rarely get to see when people have poor mental health what's going on underneath the surface. And as a parable, I suppose, it speaks very clearly to me about that. And sometimes people feel that they're going underneath some kind of cloud, and the cloud not only hides what's underneath, but it also hides the brightness that's outside as well.
Yes.
So the cloud covers in two directions. I think it's not something that you can force people to talk about, but I found very often trying to get people together in non-threatening situations, so cafes or coffee mornings, so people can come and go at their own level, not to feel they've got to answer questions or to say how they're feeling all the time, because I think asking people that question, how are you,
Yes.
isn't always helpful, but sometimes just getting alongside people. And I've certainly seen it in my own congregation where people simply sit beside somebody and listen.
So Andrew, you've done a good job on this cake, it looks the part. How did it feel covering your lovely coloured cake with this grey icing?
I think it's very similar to when we talk about mental health and we talk about how easy it is to cover up how we're feeling on the inside. And it's one of the real problems with mental health and how it can become such a kind of a mothball of a situation, is that we hide our feelings inside and we cover them up and we don't let people see the beauty that's in the inside, the colourfulness in the inside of us. Mm-hmm. And it can be a real detractor and something that can really help us, as if we were to open up just that little bit more to other people and they could see really what it was like and you could start to express yourself for who they really are. One of the main things we've been looking at this year with the Youth Assembly is raising awareness and letting people know and trying to allow people to talk about it, because for a long time people have not been talking about it, and we think that even just more awareness and people being aware of the people around them, and that might just be what they're going through. They might not want to talk to you sometimes, and that's okay if people aren't in that great a place at each given time. Really allowing a space for conversation.
So we're just about now to have the cakes brought through for us to judge, and it's good for me to introduce to you other judges, Valerie Coulton, who's a resident here, and she's going to come and help us to judge the cakes.
All right.
There we go.
Here we are. Interesting.
Look at that, my goodness.
Wow.
And look at the colour of that. Isn't that good?
That was just
Two
two
colours,
colours. So
wasn't
this one's got 4 different colours in it.
It's got most of the things we were looking for. It's got a mixture of flavours, it's got the colours. It's maybe just a little bit dry.
This one to me has a more fruity, jammy flavour.
Uh-huh. But to me, that's not really a sponge. You know, it's quite dense. You know, it's it doesn't have the kind of lightness that I would be expecting in a Victoria sponge. I wonder if it's not been mixed very well, but it's certainly got a taste of egg.
Now all we've got to do is tell the lucky contestants.
Tell them.
Well, gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for the magnificent effort that you've done there. We have invited Valerie Coulton to join us as an additional judge, so there are 4 of us to fight you instead of 3. And now it is my pleasure to announce the winner. So the winner of the CrossReach Grey Cake competition is you, Andrew. And I'm going to ask Valerie to present you with the winner's trophy.
Present you with this, Andrew.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And I think it would be appropriate, since you know him personally, if you were to also present Derek with the runners-up trophy.
There we go. Thank you very much.
CrossReach would like to thank the management, staff and residents of Morlick House, in particular June Marr, the head cook, and Mrs Valerie Coulton, our special guest judge. We'd also like to thank our expert judging team, Bill, Sally and Ian, and of course our gallant contestants, Derek and Andrew.